In a computer room in 1971, a young engineer leaned over a keyboard set between two machines the size of refrigerators. What he was about to try was not even his job. He typed a short message, reached for a symbol almost nobody used, and sent it from one computer to another. You have typed that same symbol 1,000 times. It lives in every email address, the @ sign. With that, he had invented email. And years later, when the world asked what the very first message said, the man who sent it could only shrug. He genuinely had no idea. His name was Ray Tomlinson, an engineer at a quiet firm in Cambridge, Massachusetts, called BBN. BBN was helping build something strange for the government, a network to connect a handful of distant computers called ARPANET, the ancestor of the internet. Back then, computers were islands. You could leave a note for a coworker, but only if they sat at the very same machine as you. Reaching someone on a computer across the country was something no one had done. The machines were starting to talk to each other. The people on them still could not. Ray was not chasing glory. He was a modest engineer who later called the whole thing no grand achievement, just a neat idea he wanted to try. He spent his days on small, unglamorous tools. One let you drop a message into a user's mailbox. Another, called CPYNet, copy files between distant machines. Then one day a small thought crossed his mind. What if he glued those two programs together? He used the message tool to write the note, used the file tool to carry it across the network and slip it into someone's mailbox on a completely different machine. It was elegant, but it left one problem he had to solve first. How do you tell the network which person, on which computer, anywhere in the world, the message belongs to? He needed a single character to stand between the name of the user and the name of the machine, a symbol that would never appear inside anybody's name. He scanned the keys in front of him, and his eye caught a dusty little mark almost no one ever pressed. Yeah.
Well said.
It was perfect. It even read like plain English, this user, AT, that computer. With one character, he separated the person from the machine. To test it, he sent messages between two computers that sat side by side in the very same room, wired together only through the network. The message left one machine, traveled out into ARPANET, and arrived in the machine right beside it. It had crossed an entire network just to land 2 feet away. It worked, and then nothing. No alarm, no applause. The messages were only tests, throwaway lines, probably just the top row of the keyboard mashed out. Gratuitous. Ray never claimed to remember the first one. He had no reason to save it. To him, it was a small experiment that happened to work. He did not even think it was a breakthrough, and it was not what he had been told to work on. When he showed it to a colleague, Ray grinned and said, "Don't tell anyone. This isn't what we're supposed to be working on." But email refused to stay a side project. People tried it, and then they could not stop. By 1973, a government study found that most of the traffic on the entire network was not data or research. It was email, people, writing to people. And the @ sign, once a forgotten mark from old merchants' ledgers, became one of the most recognized symbols on Earth. It sits in every email address, every social handle, every login. Ray Tomlinson never got rich from any of it. There was no patent and no fortune. He simply built it, gave it away, and went back to work. Today, more than 300 billion emails are sent every single day, and the address on every one of them still uses the shape he chose on a whim. He handed the world a way to remember everything, yet the very first thing it ever said, even he could never recall. Turns out the message that started it all was lost by the only man who could have saved it.